It's great to have you on this evening as our special guest. And I just want to welcome everyone to the webinar. For people who don't know who I am, my name is Sonia Reddy, and I'm speaking to you from Dublin, Ireland, where it is 20 degrees here today, which is very unusual for us in May. It's a pleasure to have been asked to introduce Garth here to everybody this evening. I've met Garth a number of times, and he's been to Ireland a number of times as well. And he's been a great mentor to the team, great motivator, and he's one person in NHT Global that I admire a lot. And I listen and hang on to his every word. And when he comes to Ireland, I could actually listen to Garth forever. So just to give you a little bit about Garth's background, Garth has over 18 years experience at the top level of network marketing, and he's traveled and trained in over 60 countries, and I'm sure that's even more than that now, Garth, and has created millions of dollars in business. I know you were the first distributor for NHT Global in Europe in 2004, and your organization has grown globally. Now it's all over the world, including South Korea, Mexico, Mongolia, South America, Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Africa, and Europe. And I know you're concentrating quite a lot on helping us all here in Europe. And you've distributors in many other countries around the world. You are originally from California, but you're living in Prague for the last 20 years, I think it is. And I think, Garth, people would probably prefer to hear you talk than me talk, and you can tell your story. What you're looking at there, guys, is Garth's book. He is the author of the book, How to Find the Giants in Network Marketing, and that's what Garth is going to be talking to us about this evening. So we are all ready and waiting for you, Garth, if you want to take over.
Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction, and it reminds me of getting introduced on some stages where I listened to the the moderator, talking about me, and I kind of look around behind me and try to see who she's talking about. It was a little fantastic, but you know, it makes you feel great that a person like you, who's a really high quality, wonderful person, could say such things. So thank you, Sonia. I'm very, very happy to be doing this webinar with you. By the way, this will not be a monologue webinar, but this will be a dialogue that I'll be doing with Sonia. And so I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, as you can see on the screen is the cover of a book that is available on Amazon. And I'm not saying that because I need to make money from selling the books, but I think if you read it, it could really help you to be successful in the business. But I'm going to tell you the fundamentals that are in the book on this call. Okay, I'm trying to advance my slide, and it's not advancing. There we go. There she is. Okay, that's so you know what that wonderful person is, what she looks like, who's on this call with me right now.
Well, that was a recent picture taken in Germany as well, right?
That's right. It was in Nuremberg. Yeah, had a great time there. Looking forward to I think it's the 4th or 5th largest economy in the world, launching in Germany. And so I have a feeling, Sonia, that I'll be seeing a lot of you since your organization is getting that country started.
Yeah, and we're looking forward. I think I'll be seeing you in about 2 weeks' time, or no, at the end of May. 31st of May is the Germany one. Yeah, okay.
Yep, I'll see you there with Dan Cato and with Chris and Tina, and I imagine Antonella, and it's going to be a great part of the roadshow. I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, the next day, I get on an airplane and fly to do an event in Almaty, Kazakhstan. So it's going to be a really busy time, but a wonderful time. Here's a picture of me with my wife, Anna. We're in Croatia last summer, and she is from the Czech Republic. And those 3 boys that you see in the foreground, on the left is Kiki, in the middle is Samik, and on the right is Sebik. Kiki, Sam, and Sebastian. They're 3 brothers from the Czech Republic, and we are their foster parents. And that is the biggest educational experience I have ever had in my life. Here I am with upline giant Dan Cato, and this is in Prague, which he has visited several times. And I don't know, go online if you want to know about giant Dan Cato. Go online and read about this guy. Go to dancato.com and watch some videos and check this guy out. We have literally traveled around the world together doing events, and he is a fun guy to have in your upline. And his partner is upline giant Joe Garcia, and this is in Hamburg, Germany. This was quite a few years ago, as you can see, because that big belly of mine has disappeared since that time. That was a lot of hard work. And Joe, he just keeps getting taller and taller. And next time you see us together, I'll probably be looking up to him. And to assist us in launching Europe, there's Anna and Antonella and Maya. And that picture is taken from probably, I don't know, 2007 or something. So, like Sonia said, I've been in the company anyway for 14 years, since 2004, and these ladies have been there almost from the beginning. So why would you look for giants in your business? Well, in our marketing plan, you need to have at least two. They won't be necessarily giants when you get started, but over time they will become, and you will look down two legs and you will see two giant people, preferably 3 or 4 or 6 or 10. I know Dan and Joe have that experience because they've got the whole world of NHT Global underneath them. And when you achieve that, you really have achieved financial freedom. So we're looking for giants. And I want to teach you so that you know what you're looking for. There are certain attributes that people have that make them more likely to be successful. And so you want to know what those attributes are so that you kind of have a sixth sense of knowing when you come across the kind of person who has that kind of potential. You need to become a master of inviting and showing potential giants the opportunity. It's not enough to meet them. I think I probably know 100 potential giants that I've never shown the opportunity to. What I have to do is step up to the plate and invite them to meet with me, sit down, and show the opportunity. And I need to show it with fire and enthusiasm, because that's what giants really like to be in the presence of. And then you have to sign them up and help them cycle quickly. That's a whole nother training. We're not going to go there, but you absolutely have to find out. And by the way, I want you to know, anybody who sends me an email and wants this PowerPoint that you're about to see, I will be happy to send it to you. So, but you must sign people up. You must be able to ask the question, which platinum package is best for you? And you need to get them all the way through the application phase and to the point that they pull out their credit card or debit card and they place their order. And in some countries, it's a bank transfer, and whatever means are necessary, you've got to get them signed up or you're not going anywhere. And then you got to help them cycle quickly. It's just a statistical fact that if you get somebody to the point that they cycle even once, they are going to be in your business for the next year. So wouldn't you say that that's an extremely important thing to help them do? And then you have to teach them to do the same. What's the reward for finding giants? Well, of course, you're working with awesome people. You have a huge organization. You travel the world. Sonia, I think I'm up to about 65 countries by now. I'm kind of stuck at 60. I'm kind of stuck at 65, and I'm really anxious that we get some new ones going because I love going to new countries.
I think a little birdie told me you're working on a new one, Garth.
I am working on a new one, but it's absolutely not the first time that I've been there. I know it so well and love it so much that it has been a high priority of mine for years to develop that country. And now I'm excited that I'm working on that. And of course, I'm going to use everything that I'm talking about on this webinar to find giants in that country.
And when you think about Europe and the amount of countries that we're actually not in right now, what an amazing opportunity to find giants around Europe, all the countries.
It is an amazing opportunity as long as you have built the business in your own backyard, or at least where you're financially capable of traveling to, so that you have the money to go to all of those unreached countries. There's nothing worse than the sickening feeling of drowning in debt because you're trying to extend yourself too far, too fast. So I just tell people, yes, we got a massive market, and with the leaders we have right now, we could reach the entire market of Europe. I don't know how many countries, about 40, but we absolutely need to make sure that we're financially stable while we're doing that. So yeah, it's a great big market. I know I know this is a business, and you're in this business to make money. I certainly hope you are, because the people that you're recruiting, they really, really need money so that they can get a whole lot of other things that are extremely important to them that they can't have without the finances. And as you know, we have this international recognition program, and these are levels, and those numbers over on the middle right and the far right are real numbers, and you want to go to the top. And it absolutely requires, listen to me, it requires you to recruit some potential giants, help them achieve giant status, and you will sail up that plan. But that will take a tremendous amount of work. And I can tell you from experience, each level going to the next level is another mind-boggling level of work. But if that's what you want to do to set yourself financially free, wherever you see yourself on that chart, just do whatever it takes to get there. And you may just find that you have such an awesome team that they push you the rest of the way to the top. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with one of the great key factors of recruiting a giant, and that is a teachable spirit. Sonia, have you ever had experience with people who either do or don't have a teachable spirit?
Yes, I have. And you know, I myself, I in the beginning, I suppose, you know, we think we know so much, but it's only when you open your mind to learn and you're prepared to listen to criticism and take it the way it's meant and not be insulted by it, that you grow yourself and you can develop yourself. So,
Hmm.
um, and you have been a great mentor for me, Garth, really.
Well, I wanted to say that if certainly one of the photos I could show right on the screen right now, somebody with the teachable spirit, has been you. And you're at every event, you're at every training, you're leaning forward, your eyes are sparkling, you're listening to everything. And when something hot comes out of the leader's mouth that you know is a key to your success, I see you writing it down, recording it, and everything. And that is absolutely the attitude. But I wanted to give an example of somebody who has an amazing teachable spirit, and that's Thomas Knopek. And Thomas is born in Austria, raised in Germany in the Dusseldorf region, and then he's married to a Czech and has a couple of sons and lives in Prague. And he happens to be my best friend in the world. And this guy, when I met him, I just met him at a luncheon, a Christian businessman's luncheon, and I just thought, well, this guy could be amazing. And I met with him, and then I showed him the business, and I showed him the business, and I showed him the business, and he didn't give up until 2 weeks later. He really got it, and he kind of said, "Aha, now I understand," because he had never seen network marketing before. And probably everybody who's listening to this and will listen later You almost can't remember when you never heard of network marketing before, but he didn't. And I'm telling you, what a joy it was to give him books like The Magic of Thinking Big and Think and Grow Rich and The Power of Positive Thinking and on and on and on, all these awesome, awesome books that are keys to having the right mentality, as well as traveling all over many countries in Europe to show the business. And this guy is Teachable Thomas. Really awesome. And by the way, just to give you an idea of how great our marketing plan is, just because I personally recruited and trained Thomas, it's my prediction that at the end of this year, the matching bonus that I get from recruiting Thomas, that 10% off of the income that he makes, is going to take care of all my bills. And of course, I have other organization, other business as well. But that just shows you the power of a fantastic marketing plan and why you want to look for somebody like Totally Teachable Thomas. Okay, so passionately ambitious. Wow, I couldn't emphasize this one enough. What it means when you meet somebody who has a huge and massive passion and ambition. Sonia, in your experience in the business so far, can you think of someone in your organization or another that stands out as being passionately ambitious?
Yeah, we've got a few people here who are they just go out and they just do the business and they never stop. And they're also usually the ones who turn up to all the events and constantly are looking for new people to join their business. They're on the webinars. um, so we've got a few. We've got both male and female. Do you want me to name some, or I don't think it's going to matter? But we
No,
do have,
you don't have to.
yeah, we've got a few here. As I say, both male and female, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great when you get somebody like that who they actually keep you motivated as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you. Oh, it skipped right to the end. Okay, let me fix that just a second. I pushed the wrong button. And there. This is a guy, let me go back to there. This is a guy named Yoon Woo, and he lives in Busan, South Korea. That's on the Sea of Japan in South Korea. And that's in his luxury apartment high up in one of those high over the sea apartment buildings. And Yoon is a guy who grew up in network marketing. His mother was one of the top leaders in another network marketing company, one with, in my opinion, an incredibly difficult marketing plan, and not products that I would want to represent. But he grew up watching her and seeing her go up and be more and more successful. And I think it just instilled in him, because he probably went to countless events in that company, traveled around the world on those special trips, rewards for her success. And, he just grew up seeing that. Yoon is actually kind of a motivator for me, for my own kids, to think I need to put in front of my kids a big vision. I don't know what they're going to be, concert piano player or own 100 restaurant franchises or even do our business. I don't know. But this guy, like Sonia said, inspires me. His ambition is amazing. His BMW on the back window, it says Global Ambassador Yoon Woo. He's not, but that's where he sees himself. He knows he'll be the first one in South Korea. He lets me clearly know that when I meet with him. He pulls out a piece of paper and draws out a picture of the organization he's building, his superstars, where he's going, what his strategies are. His ambition just knows no end. I am not exactly that kind of person, but that kind of person really inspires me. I get excited about doing a lot of different things in life. Yoon gets passionately ambitious about being a global ambassador. And you definitely want to recruit someone like that. Okay. Another key factor in building this business is having the ability to buy. And I'm just going to move on to the next slide and talk a little bit about this. If you have, I don't know, if you have the Mother Teresa spirit, I just saw a photo on WhatsApp that Joe Garcia sent me because I don't know if he's still in it, but this morning or afternoon his time, he was spending time in a soup kitchen, which is a place where poor people from the streets go so that they can get a free meal. And he was there in the line dishing out food to help those people. That's fantastic. It shows the balance that Joe has in his life. He's not only about his rich life, but he's also in the process thinking about people less fortunate than him. But I can also tell you that Joe is not standing in that soup kitchen line handing out that food and thinking first and foremost, which of these people can I recruit into the business? He's thinking, I want to help these people. Those people have a long path to go to get to the point where they're ready to join a business and make it successful. Joe may find somebody there and spend the next couple of years working with them to get to that point. But if you want to build this business quickly and you want to get to financial freedom quickly, I highly, highly recommend that you look for people who have the ability to buy. That means you got to focus on people who are not freaked out about buying a business for 2,000 euros. I mean, that's just insane that you can buy our business for 2,000 euros and be a platinum. It's crazy because I make a lot more money than people who spend 50,000 or 100,000 euros to start their business and are trapped in a clothing store or a little cafe or a restaurant or selling I don't know what in some little shop and working incredible hours. I work less and make as much or more than people who put in 25 or 50 times as much money as I did into the business. So you focus on people at the beginning when you're building to your giant status. Please focus on people who do not get freaked out about buying a business for 2,000 euros. And if you want to find those people, you need to examine where do you hang out. Because if right now the majority of people that you come in contact with every day are people who would not pay that money or who need you to rescue them but couldn't run a business, then guess what? If you want to reach those people, you've got to go where the earners hang out. You know, I'm a member of a wonderful fitness club, and I think everybody in that fitness club, which is one of the best, I think, in Europe, everyone would believe if I told them or asked them the question, is 2,000 euros too much to spend for a business? They go, no way, it costs a lot more than that. And these are people who are earners who have the ability to buy. I don't know, Sonia, have you had any experience with people who want to join you, but maybe they want you to buy their package, or they just can't get over the massive amount that it costs to join our business?
Uh, yes, over the last 4 years that I've been involved with NHD Global, obviously we've met all kinds. And what you're saying is absolutely right about, building the business with people who are not afraid to spend 2,000 euros on the business. And when you think about it, it is not a huge amount of money to start your own business when you look at all the benefits. But we've had, people struggling. I've had distributors who, through their own kindness, have been trying to help people who don't have money. And those people sometimes can't even afford the product, never mind to buy the package. And they spend a lot of time with these people. Like we've had people who don't have credit cards, and they're giving cash, and the distributors are putting themselves through a huge amount of work because they're constantly dealing with these type of people. So quite a few of us here, we took a look at, you know, the people that we were bringing into the business, having listened to you, Garth, do this webinar before about finding the giants, finding the right people. And while we're always delighted to help, you know, people with product, and of course, you know, if they don't have credit cards, we'll order the product for them, but they're not the ones that are actually going to build a business for you. And what you're saying is absolutely correct there. Focus on people who are not freaked out about buying a business for 2,000 euros. Because if, as you say, if you were going to start a business in the morning, you'd need a hell of a lot more than 2,000 euros. That wouldn't even open a door in a cafe for you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, I did it again. I pushed the, you know, I'm very good at pushing the wrong buttons, but in spite of that, I'm still able to be successful. So
Oh, you're
hopefully
actually
that's
very good. You're good at pushing the right buttons as well.
okay. Thank you. All right, let's try it one more time. And I'll put a red X on the wrong button. Here we go. Look for people with strong self-esteem and a positive self-image. I've got to tell you that when I was 21 years old, I think, yeah, 21, I was introduced to the Dale Carnegie course in public speaking and dealing with people and everything. And I took that course, and I remember when I was in junior high school, I had to get up and give a talk, and I froze standing in front of the people. I was so in fear of what people would think of me if I made a mistake that I said the first sentence of my talk, and then I just froze stiff, and I couldn't move. The teacher actually had to put her hands on my shoulders and help me move back and push me down to sit in my seat. I was so petrified. But what I was really afraid of, because I grew up in an extremely broken home, what I was really afraid of is that I would make an error and people would see that, remember it forever, and it would destroy my life. Well, I needed to get out of that. And so when I was, I think 21 or 22, and I went through this Dale Carnegie course, and I read this book by Dale Carnegie, and then I read Think and Grow Rich, and I read The Magic of Thinking Big, and I read Psycho-Cybernetics, and on, you know. Uh, my life was just revolutionized. And I'm sure that I made a lot of people sick listening to me talking about it, pushing the books on people, going to all these seminars, paying whatever amount of money to get in front of the giants. But it just, you know, over time, it just completely and radically changed my self-esteem and my positive self-image. And now I've been in this network marketing business for about 20 years. And I got to tell you that foundation just really changed everything. Well, I've been in NHT Global for 14 years. Imagine if I recruited a negative person. You know what I mean by a negative person, a person that you kind of would walk across the street rather than going by their front door, because if they come out, poison is just going to spew out of their mouth. They're going to share every bad thing that's happened to them. You may be even related to somebody like that. Hopefully you're not married to someone like that. That's quite a challenge. But if I had recruited a really negative person or person with low self-esteem and then helped them to be successful 14 years ago, but they didn't change, as many of these people don't. Wow. Imagine living with that in your team, in your leadership group, knowing that that kind of person was going to come every time that you had a meeting. Yes, that person needs counseling. Yes, that person needs encouragement, but please try to recruit people with strong self-esteem. High self-esteem people attract the same kind of people. I'm convinced that any recruiting success that I've had, both for myself, and by the way, this webinar is not just about recruiting for yourself personally, but it's also helping your people recruit the right people. But I'm convinced that some of the people that I have in my organization came in because they were attracted to positive, powerful, on fire Garth, and they wouldn't have been if I had been this negative guy getting up. So, and because of that, I get a whole bunch of leaders in my business that I love to be around. I love to be with them. They inspire me. Certainly Sonia is one of those. Certainly Helen is one of those. Certainly Thomas and Dolly are people like that. Certainly Yoon is like that. Dan and Joe are like that. And Isa and Miriam are like that, and on and on. These people, I just love to be with them. So, Sonia, I don't know. I guess it's a foolish question to ask if you've ever had any experience in the business with negative people or very positive people. But do you have anything you could share?
Well, I will share one story with about a negative person, and we had a distributor join the business. She joined as a platinum member. She actually flew to the event in Sweden. She was only literally in the business a week or two, but she was and is, sorry, I'm not using the past tense, very excited about NHT Global. But unfortunately, the very first person she met was probably the most negative person that anybody could ever meet, and um, he was pretty negative about absolutely everything to do with the company. The fact that everything was a pyramid, not legal, the usual stuff that people say. He couldn't give any reasons why he was saying it. But he was really, really. I mean, I think he probably literally put her off for a very short time, and he was an expert on everything. One of those people that seem to know
Mm-hmm.
everything about everything, an expert, right? So I
Mm,
just looked, and I just said to her, okay. I said, is this guy wealthy? And the answer is no, right? I said, is this guy successful? And her answer was no. I said, does he live I said, does he live in an amazing apartment? Does he drive a fancy car? No, no to everything, right? And I said, well, then why are you listening to him? Because he has made success from his own business. And from that moment on, she just walked away. And I said, someday he'll come back, because when you're successful, he'll realize how negative he's been. But we get negative people. And usually the people that are negative, they block themselves. And they're not just negative about this business, Garth. I find they're negative about everything in life. Okay.
mm,
So, if you get somebody being negative about the business, you'll probably find a negative about a lot more than just this business. Um, so I tend to avoid negative people. You get some people pride, and this is what I would say now, having got experience myself. Stop trying to turn those people around, let them go, and just move on to the next person,
mm,
because you're wasting your time with them.
mm. Great advice. It doesn't mean that they're not valuable people and that someday they won't change, but um, unless you're a clinical psychologist or a marriage and family counselor or whatever it is that it takes to help somebody like that over the years, unless that's your job, if you're doing NHC Global and want to get to the top, then please, as she said, just say thanks, bye, and move on. All right. Really good story. Thank you. Okay, deeply dissatisfied. What does that mean? Well, satisfied people are hard to recruit. I remember going with one of my guys here in Prague, and he had a guy who he thought would be great, and I agreed. We sat down, and my guy did the presentation, was doing a super job. But every time he would ask a question about that guy, about his income, about his job, about his family, about his time, about his recreation, and on, every time the guy just literally, and I think honestly, said, wow, it's great. Oh, my family's super. Oh, I have lots of time with. I have the best job in the world. Oh, and I kind of felt sorry for my guy who was doing that presentation, because about the only thing we could get that guy to say he wasn't satisfied with was his health. And beyond that, and of course, then get some of the products, but he wasn't the guy to be in the business, because uh, it's very hard to recruit somebody if they feel like everything is fine and they don't need you or what you're offering, or they're not ambitious and they're not interested. So If they're satisfied now, know that when the tough times come, if they join, they will easily just walk away because they'll think, I already have a great life. I don't need the aggravation. 3 people have said no to me. I'm on my way out. Well, 3 people saying no to you is like a tiny little snack getting started in this business. So try to find out if people are deeply dissatisfied, because when they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're leaning forward during your presentation, and they're so excited because they see what you have to offer is going to help them get out of dissatisfaction and instead feel successful and satisfied, those people are really good to recruit. All right. Using the internet as a powerful marketing tool. And it's interesting that right now I have Sonia with me on the call, because originally Dalibor recruited somebody who recruited Sonia, and it came through the internet. And I got to tell you, it is a powerful marketing tool. And what I'm going to do is do a little praise session here, because I would like Sonia to tell me a little bit about this guy on the screen right now.
Okay, well, my first conversation with Dalibor, and I had no clue who he was, nor did I know who NHT Global were. I just came across this incredible 30-minute non-surgical facelift and an equally incredible product called Allura Lux, which a friend of mine introduced me to. And before I knew what was happening, you know, a few of my other friends here tried it. They all wanted it. We didn't know where to get it. She didn't really get involved in the business, so she put me in touch with Dalibor. So 5 minutes into the conversation, I'm having talking to him about Allura Lux, 30-minute non-surgical facelift. He told me about NHT Global, explained it was a business opportunity, and I didn't take him up on it the first time. I just was like, no, I just want the product, and you know, I'm busy. I in the print and design business, wasn't in the looking zone. And he was really, really lovely to talk to, didn't push, didn't, you know, keep on contacting me. But actually what happened was the business started to grow without me doing anything, because more people wanted the product, and word of mouth, which, and this is this type of business, referral marketing, just word of mouth, the products started to, we needed more, so I had to contact Dalibor again. And it was around the time as well when things were kind of difficult. Print and design business wasn't as easy as it used to be. You know, everyone was cutting their marketing budgets. And he said to me again, why don't you take a look at the business? We're just building Europe now, and it's a great time to get involved. And even though I had in my head, I have no clue how to do this business, I don't know anything about the wellness or the beauty business, or what would I know. I did remember seeing a slide where Richard Branson said, you know, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity and you don't know how to do it, say yes and then find out how to do it later. And that's exactly what I did, because I hadn't a clue. Okay, I didn't come from a network marketing background. I wasn't a leader in any market. I didn't know anything about I never had done a webinar, Garth, right? Here I am hosting this one, but I didn't know what a webinar was until
Did Dalibor help you with that at all?
Yes, he did. He has helped me with so many things to do with the internet, even in relation to Facebook, because I really didn't have a Facebook page, hadn't a clue how to do that. And he's got a great site called Fleon, field-young.eu. Joe has one called Steam Team, tons of information there. But even in there, there are trainings on, you know, how to use LinkedIn, how to use Facebook. And I know Dalibor himself, he's a master at finding people through the internet and signing up new people just by searching, and he's very good at it. I want to be like him. I want to be as good. I'm actually doing 1 or 2 courses myself, but Dalibor is also there, and he's taught me so much. A lot. Even last week, or 2 weeks ago, I needed to know something else about to do something on this webinar, and he was just there straight away and was able to sort me out. And you know, I'm not a technology expert, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was 4 years ago. And yes, he has been amazing support in every way, regardless of whether it's to do with technology or the most stupid question in the world. You know, he's the kind of guy that you can ring and you can ask the most stupid question in the world because you're comfortable, because he'll answer it. You know, sometimes you think, I'm not going to ask this question, they're going to think I'm an idiot. But actually, Dalibor, you can approach him, ask him anything, and he's there on the other end of the phone all the time. He's been so amazing, fantastic support. He's been to Ireland a lot. He's come over here quite a number of times over the last few years, and I've met him again in other countries. That's one fantastic thing about this business. You do get to travel, and I've been to Hong Kong, California, Prague, which I love to have to say. I'd never been there before. Sweden, Germany. Next on the list is Croatia, but I'll be back in
Okay,
Germany.
I have to rein you back in because I got to get back focused on Dalibor.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
You
but
did
I
ask.
want you to, yeah, I want you to know that and that was a fantastic praise session about Dalibor for sure. I want you to know that Dalibor does have a number of trainings that are available on his website and on Steam Team that can teach you how to use the internet. 10 years ago, I never heard of somebody named Jeff Bezos, and now he's the richest man in the world. And how did that happen? Well, he has a little company called Amazon, and he knew, just as Bill Gates knew 15 years ago, when Bill Gates said that the day is coming in the future when there will be people who believe in the internet and take advantage of the opportunity, who will have far more money than I do. And nobody believed at that time. And now the internet has just exploded. It's unbelievable. It's just unstoppable. People are buying things on the internet no one ever imagined that they would before. And so you want to find people who love the internet, love to use it, are masters of marketing on it, because they can be giants for you. And Dalibor is certainly one of those people, and I look forward to watching him go up and up and up. And again, because of the matching bonus and because he's on my second level below Thomas, I will also enjoy a very nice income from his success. So anyway, look for those internet people and be one of those people and understand it and even learn how to use internet advertising. It can extend your reach to places that you could never go, and you may end up traveling because you'll find people like Dalibor. The next key factor for finding the giants: recruit salespeople and entrepreneurs. And I have a couple of conditions that go with this. The good and bad about salespeople. Salespeople make their living closing. The term closing in sales means your ability or the action of getting to the end of a presentation of some kind of product or service and being able to get people to buy. And salespeople, the ones that are successful, and I'm not saying recruit unsuccessful salespeople and unsuccessful entrepreneurs, well, maybe entrepreneurs, but the ones who are successful, they don't have a fear of asking for the money. And so I could tell you many examples of people I've had in my business over the years who are recruiting monsters because they used to be in sales, and they just bring that same ability to present and close right over to our business. The bad part of it is quite often people who are excellent at sales do not migrate into being excellent at management. And so they can bring them in, but they can't get them to do the same and get the support they need and so on. I knew a guy in Slovenia who could recruit a gold every other day, but then he would just call me and say, okay, here's the number, ID number and phone number of a new gold, please take over. Just could not develop the people. So if you find somebody who's very good in sales in management and manages a lot of people, wow, that is unlimited potential. So about entrepreneurs, I'll say the bad first. There are entrepreneurs that are successful and they just don't know when to stop. So they just keep starting business after business after business. and they really never settle down and focus on one or two to give it the support that it needs. And so watch out for the entrepreneurs that just jump from business to business, deal to deal. But on the other hand, entrepreneurs are ready and able to buy something great. They usually have the resources. The cost of our business is not beyond their reach, and they're very, very happy if they see something that's awesome. Entrepreneurs also have lots of contacts. They know that this is an absolute key to their success. So if you look at their phone list of how many people they have thousands. Most people have hundreds. They just always have thousands. And so they don't have the complaint, I don't have anybody else to show the business to. And so entrepreneurs are great in that aspect. And another is they have experience in business going up and business going down. And as Dan and Joe and I and others will tell you, our business is not always going up. It goes up and down. But you have to believe that it's going to come around, and you stick with it. And entrepreneurs who have businesses that are up and running and have been doing it for years, they know how to stick through the downs to get to the ups. And so recruit salespeople and entrepreneurs. Another is the too busy people person. The people who get things done in this world, I would just like to say this. In the first place, of course, a people person has endless context because they absolutely love people. They just want to be with them all the time, and people generally also love them, or they're a little overwhelmed by them. And they're busy. They're too busy because they are just doing so much, and they can accomplish much. I say these people run the world. Their schedule is completely packed. And you might have had the experience of knowing somebody like this, but being afraid to present the business to them because you're thinking, well, they're so busy that they would never have time for my business. This is what you have to do. Find a way to get in front of them, even if you use the wonderful approach saying, look, I know you're incredibly busy. You don't have time for anything else, but I do highly value your opinion. Is there a window of time that you would give me? Just 45 minutes and I'll keep it tight and on time, and I will show you something that I'm doing. You tell me what you think about this. By the way, you can use that with all kinds of people they're busy and successful, but you use it with the too busy people person, and they see the presentation, they see the products, and then if they really see, if you know what I mean, the marketing plan and understand what they're looking at and what it means, of course, to be first in their city or their country. Well, if they add you to their schedule and decide your thing is so good that it's going to just become a regular part of their plan and these are people who plan to achieve, okay? They plan to get it done, and they work at it, and they know it takes work. Wow. The too busy people person is a fantastic, fantastic person to recruit. Okay, successful background in network marketing. I'm going to let Sonia share with me briefly if she's if she's had any experience in Ireland with people with a background in network marketing, good and bad.
Okay. I just want to clarify, do you mean have I met people that have already been in network marketing before?
They've been in it before. They believe in it. They're doing it. They just left a company. They're joining one. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They want to get you. Just, I know you've had these experiences because you've told me about them.
Yeah. There are some really good people here, and the only thing they believe in now is network marketing. Because it is the only career where there is no cap to what you can earn, and you can create a passive income. But these guys are hard workers. The successful they have successful backgrounds in other network marketing businesses where through no fault of their own the business has ceased, or something changed and they've left. But they, yeah, I would like to find a lot more of them. That's what I'm looking for. Um, People with successful background in network marketing, because they know how to build a team straight away. They know how to support their team. They know what to do. They sort of, don't need me as much as some of the others do. And, my first one, he started having his own Zoom calls and he didn't even invite me on. And I was like, oh my God, he doesn't need me at all. So it's, if you can get if someone that's got a good background who has already built a team, they know how to do it. So
And
they're
that
gonna.
and that I just want to say, and that kind of collapses the time frame for you. Because if you can get somebody like that launched and they really believe in our business and they go to the events and they like the upline and they, all that stuff that we want from people who are successful in network marketing, and they really believe, okay, finally, I found my company, I'm going to stick with it, and this one is going to take me all the way to the top and I'm never leaving. Well, you don't have to spend all that time training them. They can be a joy to work with. The picture that I'm showing you right now is the leadership team of the first people that I recruited into NHT Global. And these people are the ones who are really responsible for my organization by the end of the second full month in business doing over 300,000 BV. But I got to tell you that in that picture right there, I don't know how many, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. In that picture there's only 2 people who didn't have extensive experience in network marketing. I just happened to recruit somebody who knew all these network marketers, and that is really why that happened. So when people have heard me say that in a training, and then they look at me like, wow, look at Garth, look what he did. Well, what I can tell you is I found some people who love network marketing, knew how to do it, ran out the door, and did totally incredible, amazing things. And so you can really collapse the time frame, we say, of getting to the top of this business if you're able to recruit successfully successful network marketers. Yeah, moving on. Look for people with a burning desire and a big vision. The burning desire will carry them through. I'll go back. The burning desire will carry them through everything if they have this passion that just won't quit. If they have a big vision, then they can look at something like this, and they're not only not overwhelmed, they're looking and going, okay, which of these countries are going to be mine? And you could be listening to this call and you could be in America, and this could be about US states. You could be in South America and you could be talking about countries in South America. You could be in India, regions in India, areas untapped in Russia, places we haven't been, like we don't really have anything going in Australia, New Zealand, Africa, a whole continent there that needs to be reached, more places in Asia, and on and on. The potential is unbelievable. But if you get people with a burning desire and a big vision, a vision that won't quit, they will look at a map like this and all they see is opportunity. They see that they're going to go to everyone. They see that they're going to find a giant in almost all of those countries through their travels and through people they meet who know other people. And so please look for people with a burning desire and a big vision. So there's the 10, and I'm going to end just with this quick story about the boat captain. The guy who recruited me into the business told me this story. He said there was a guy in Florida in a town called Sarasota, and he used to captain a little boat that took tourists around, and he would have to clean up after them, and it was really kind of a job that didn't provide for him what he wanted. He even remembers pulling his boat up and looking out and seeing mansions in Florida, gorgeous multi-million-dollar places right on the water, and huge multi-million-dollar yachts, and dreamed of having a mansion like that, dreamed of having a yacht like that. but he was just stuck captaining his little tourist boat. And then a man was walking by, a man who owned one of those mansions and who owned one of those yachts, and asked him a key question, because he just believed, he was a network marketing professional walking by. He got all of that stuff from the business, and he saw somebody and decided, I'm willing to share this with anybody. And he said to him, would you like to have one of those yachts? Would you like to have one of those mansions? And the guy said yes, and he invited him to a meeting. He went to the meeting, and to make a long story short, he joined the business, and he ended up having the house by the sea and having the yacht, and being tremendously successful, making millions in the business. And that was the guy who, in a little clubhouse in a luxury apartment complex in Newport Beach, recruited me for the first time into network marketing in my first company in America. And I share that story to say, you can look for all the factors that I just told you about, but don't be surprised if there's somebody who doesn't look like they have any of them. But if you would just ask them a question, open the door, give them a chance, they could show you that indeed they have a lot of those qualities. They were just waiting for someone to invite them into the business. So I want to end with that story. And I want to thank Sonia very much for doing this with me. I kind of put her on the spot numerous times, but she showed up and helped me with this. And Sonia, I really appreciate it.
Well, as I said to you earlier on, Garth, it's always a pleasure to help you out, and I'll always be available anytime you're looking for help. And just so that everybody is aware, this webinar was recorded, and when you get new distributors into the business, I think this is a very good recording to get them to listen to. And I'll be going back listening to it again myself. I was even writing down notes while you were talking, even though I have the slides myself.
Okay.
Because you always pick up, and I always find when you listen to it more than once, you'll pick up something different every time. There's always some little nugget that you're going to catch.
Absolutely.
So, these recordings are fantastic to give to new distributors when they join your business, and it's a great way to put them on the right road and get them started properly. So Garth, I'll just return the compliment and say it was great to have you on. It's always great to have you on. I'm looking forward to meeting you in a few weeks' time in Nuremberg in Germany. And
Okay.
I think it's really sunny here still. So we'll just thank everybody. And I think I'll have to go back out to the sun.
Okay, we're finishing right on time, and thank you very much, and God bless you all. Bye.
Okay, bye.